Hey there, everybody. This is your back to school night video for AP Statistics. I'm Nathan Porter, the teacher of that particular course. Just giving you a few highlights. Trying to keep it to the same information that if you were here, in person for back to school night, kind of the same stuff that you would get. I'll kind of approach the video here in three parts. I'll give you a little bit about me, a little bit about the course, and then a little bit about grading and kind of the structure of how we do things from day to day. Again, that second piece, kind of more the curriculum and what we're covering and whatnot. But again, I'm Nathan Porter, 14 years in teaching at Orono. This is year number 8. I spent 6 years at Fridley before I came here. Undergrad work was at Bethel. I did my master's degree at Concordia St. Paul. Coach cross country and track and field. Those are kind of a big part of what I do here. I'm an assistant for cross and the co-head coach for track and field. Kind of a side note with that, in the fall and the spring with practice after school, not a ton of availability for extra help after school. Kids know that. They kind of get my schedule from day one, so that's something to kind of plan on. Mornings are really, really good for me and are wide open. And are probably the best time if a student needs a little extra help in statistics. That's, in addition to like their schedule during the day, if they can do a Spartan hour or if they can do a study hall or something like that. Before school is definitely the best with me. So enough about me. Curriculum itself. We teach the class out of a book called The Practice of AP Statistics. It's a great text. It's made specifically for AP. That's always kind of an interesting thing when you're teaching an AP course because the College Board doesn't produce textbooks or make curriculum. So you got to go to an outside source, and we use one that is very specifically made for high school students taking this particular class. We cover 12 units in terms of kind of the timeline. It's condensed a little bit, right? The first semester we cover 8 because we're not, you would think, all right, 12 units, we'll go 6 and 6. Well, exams in the middle of May, to build in at least a month or so to review. We want to be done with new content by about spring break. So really to get those 12 units in, we're kind of aiming towards the end of March, first week of April. So really first semester, we pretty much need to get through about 2/3 of the content, and that's kind of what we do, is we get through the first 8. I've had years I get through the first 9. I've played around with that. We're not going to do that this year, but point being, getting through the first 8 units is pretty doable, pretty easy first semester. Again, that curriculum side of stuff, I think one of the big things that's really important to communicate to parents, stats is, by the previous experiences, whatever math class your son or daughter has had, it's such a different experience, okay? And that can really look like a lot of different things, but it usually relates to, we use very, very little algebra in statistics. It's just the nature of the course. It's the way it is. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? That entirely depends on the student. All right, you'll kind of see a wide range of experiences out of students. Some are like super, super high flyers in math, largely because in like Algebra 2, pre-calc, functions and trig, maybe they even have some experience in calc. They're great in algebra. They're great with step-by-step algorithms. And that's always been a big part of their success. Good, bad, or otherwise in stats, we don't use those. They're not a thing for us. That for a lot of students can be frustrating, where they feel like I've got these great algebra skills and I get to stats and my hands are tied and I don't get to use them. All right, all the way to the flip side, where you could have a student who maybe has struggled on that more algebra-based track the last couple of years and is really excited, really wants something new. And it's like finally a class where, I'm not seeing kind of the same algebra skills build on each other year after year. This is a totally different direction, kind of something new and fresh that they're really excited about. You'll see both of those, okay? How is this semester going to play out for your particular student? I'm confident they're going to have a good experience, but I don't know. It's my point here is just kind of pay attention to that. kind of be into how things are going, that you might find that the experience, either positive or, at sometimes a little bit of frustration, might be slightly different than what they've had in the past. That comes up quite a bit. So kind of stay in tune to that, especially early on. There can be some growing pains, which students are, I communicate to them week one. Again, that big picture message of this class is so significantly different from any math class that you've had in the past. Just kind of be ready for anything. Exactly how your experience is going to go the first few weeks, I don't know. Okay, hopefully it is they get off to a strong start, but that's just something to be aware of. Grading wise and kind of procedural things, just real quick, the grading scale, I use an 80-20, okay, just two categories, 20% formative, 80 summative. I send out a weekly schedule every Friday for like the following week. If you see a checkpoint day, right, we do kind of what I call a checkpoint quiz. It's graded formatively. The big thing about those is all the homework assignments that are included on that particular quiz. So like the sections that are included on that quiz, that's when the homework assignments are due. That's the big thing. Those are the only days that they're submitting written work that's going to get graded, is when you see those checkpoint days in bold. The only other days they submit graded work are on the test days, which would obviously be marked clearly on the schedule as well. The checkpoint quizzes that they take are counted as, a homework assignment is worth a formative point. The checkpoints are worth 2. So they do the checkpoints in class. Again, it's kind of like a quiz. They don't count for a ton, typically graded off completion. They count like 2 homework assignments. Last thing here, really a big thing. I try to always save it for last. A TI-84 graphing calculator. It goes pretty deep into the course. I've got about 20 of them that I can certainly lend students if they need one. It's probably best to have your own. Okay, they can be a little bit pricey. You have a lot of options in terms of buying new or used and looking for them online. It's deeply embedded in the course, all the way to it's a part of the AP curriculum. So when their exam is graded, there are components of free response questions where the grader assumes, 1, that the student took the exam with a TI-84, 2, that they know how to use it, and at times when it would be used, it's factored into the grading rubric. That certain steps and certain amounts of work would be possibly omitted from their response because the grader assumes that they're doing this on their TI-84. Okay, so it goes deep and really starting a little bit in chapter 2, but mostly in chapter 6, we start to use them pretty much every day. They've got a whole range of statistics applications that success in the course mandates that they can use. Okay, so that's really kind of a new thing, a TI-84, and that's the one that is kind of like officially recommended by the College Board, that the whole course is kind of, the curriculum is written in mind that students have one and that they can use it. That's kind of a new thing. A lot of the courses they've taken in the past, a calculator isn't a significant part of it. In statistics, it is. It's a really big piece. So chapter 1, we use one particular application. It's not really essential. That students are able to use it or that they have access to one right away. So point being, if you're kind of looking for some options to get access to a TI-84, you've got a little bit of time. Probably the next 2 to 2.5 weeks, you want to try to figure something out. Again, if my assistance is needed in terms of getting access to one, I've got about 20. Let me know, right? Just stay in touch and we can talk about that further. I guess that's kind of a good note to end on. Email or give me a call at school. Any questions on anything, please feel free to let me know. But biggest thing, please know, super excited for this school year. We're about a week in at this point. Things have gone really well. Got a set of great classes. Students have been fantastic so far and really, really looking forward to a great year.